Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, Pete's man? Back in the building. Just come off Enz's stream. I said, you know what? Let me just stream right now whilst I've got the time. Hopefully this won't be too long. But yeah, now big up to everybody. Yeah, like I said, man, that was a good stream on Enz's channel. That debate about Pedri and Valverde. That's a good conversation, man. That's a good conversation. We might need to touch back on that channel, on that debate. Excuse me, we might need to touch that debate again one of these days. But yeah, now today, yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about, right, was I see Jamie Carragher. Obviously, I'll rap about that in a second. But I see Jamie Carragher obviously talking. Was it yesterday he did his analysis, or I'm sure it was yesterday because I see it obviously coming out today. But him talking about why people obviously hate Arsenal, right, as a club and all of that kind of stuff. Like, what is it about Arsenal that basically gets on people's nerves? And he gave his little thoughts and stuff like that. Obviously, sitting there with Thierry and that, so that must have been interesting. But when I'm thinking about it, obviously, in regards to what Carragher was obviously saying, right, he's obviously coming from the angle of, like, was it the manager? Obviously, he's just throwing out little bits. Is it the manager? Is it, is it the fans on social media? Is it, the style of play that they're obviously playing? And obviously, everybody's got their own opinions as to why. And the only reason why I said I wanted to do a stream because I said it is kind of interesting because obviously, for me, the way I look at it is everybody looks at Arsenal as if they are like the worst fan base, not even the worst team. And I think maybe some people also get it twisted when they think about, or when we have that conversation about Arsenal fans, and people always see like Arsenal fans are always looking at it from their perspective of, oh, everybody hates us and blah blah blah. For me, and I can only speak from my perspective, right? I don't think it's a case of we hate you as a club. I like Arsenal as a club. I mean, they're not Manchester United where they had this like crazy level of dominance, and you took all the best players, you had all of the best players, and there was cheating involved. Well, alleged cheating involved with some of the things that used to happen during the 90s and early 2000s and all of that kind of stuff, right? So everyone just hated United really for that kind of reason. You're not a Man City because there's no like question marks over you as a football club, whether you've been cheating, whether you got all of these breaches and stuff like that. You're not Real Madrid. You know what I'm saying? I'm only saying that because of what Savage said before, but you're not a Real Madrid where even then it's like, oh yeah, there's something booky about your club, you know what I mean, in a general kind of sense. Bring Jerry in. Big up JJ, man.
We got
What you saying, man? But yeah, there's nothing booky about your club in a general kind of sense, right? So Arsenal are not that kind of, in my opinion, they're not that kind of club where there's question marks about you. There's something about you that's just not right. You're a calm club. You always have been a calm club, and I think you're a well-respected club within England. Your fans, on the other hand, that's why we'll obviously touch upon that. But yeah, big up Jerry, man. Like I said, I was scrolling through Twitter the other day and I was looking at some of the things, and obviously I ain't done a stream for time, so I've been looking at what people have been saying, and obviously off the back of what Jamie Carragher was saying yesterday on Sky Sports about basically why fans or why other fans obviously hate Arsenal fans and stuff like that. And me and my brethren, obviously, Tyrell, obviously we always talk about this, and obviously where he's an Arsenal supporter, he he understands why people get onto Arsenal fans quite a bit because he don't even like Arsenal fans. He's like us in terms of, but we just hate our own fan base because of the way that they just move and stuff like that in terms of just the over exaggeration of things and the way that you speak to people about your club when these times your club is not really popping in that kind of way, blah blah blah. So yeah, man, I just wanted to rap about this half an hour, 40 minutes, and I'm gonna get out of it. But how do you kind of look at it when you think about you as a fan, just of football or a Man City fan, just you looking at Arsenal in a general sense? Like, how do you take to them?
mm, they've become a little man team. I'm going to be honest. They just become that team that's like, yeah, historically you're a big club, but no one takes you seriously. And I think ultimately they've been a banter club for so long that anything they do is going to be viewed as banter. So when they were playing football and they liked the football, it was great, but the banter was they ain't got the mentality to win.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in a situation where they've mixed it up. It looks like they're going to go and do it. So they've clearly got the mentality like they won the game. The game they won last time out, where they were, I think it was 0-0 for ages or 1-1 for
Against
ages, and
Everton,
then
yeah.
against Everton, and they just bang. Do you know what I mean? That 89th minute, 90th minute mentality monsters. That's what you'd call it. That's what Liverpool fans would call it on
Mm-hmm.
the clock when they were. Do you know what I mean? Supporting them. So yeah, that's what it is. And I've always been an advocate that you you don't get the respect until you do it. So
Yeah.
until Arsenal win, it don't matter because if you don't win, it's gonna be the same as every other year. They need to win. Once they win, they'll get that respect. Because I remember, don't get it twisted. I remember when back when I was supporting Liverpool and you had. No, I'm being serious. Man, think I'm joking. You know,
That's the way
man,
you
think
said it,
I'm.
like yeah, well, that's what Liverpool like.
Yeah, but when I did, right, I remember when Liverpool came fourth that
Mm.
season, right, and they were top for a bit and then dropped off. I think this or came and then or came second or whatever. It was always like, yeah, you're the nearly man. People didn't respect it. People didn't really want Liverpool to win it. Obviously, City had dominated, so you had a couple other teams, like the lower teams, that were like, yeah, it'll be great if Liverpool can win it and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp and this. And obviously, it's the way Liverpool play football. But there were still large amounts of people that were like, nah, like, you guys are just not serious. You guys just don't
Mm.
win. You guys don't do this. I remember a lot of Chelsea fans I spoke to were like, nah, Liverpool winning it dead
Mm.
up until you win it. Then you get the respect. And I think
Yeah.
respect from everyone, respect from the players that play the game, managers, pundits, all that type of stuff. How can you respect something when you haven't done it yet?
Mm. No, it's true.
In terms of on a professional level. So I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, I just don't think it's even that it's that deep. I think obviously the fans play a part. I think the fans sensationalize everything. I think the whole
Yeah.
AFTV thing,
Mm.
unfortunately, it put them on a pedestal and marked them like that. So you just view them that way. And I think on top of that, I think the final point to look at is the football that they play. It's not
Mm.
enjoyable. It's not an attractive style for a lot of people. For some, it is. For a lot of people, it isn't. So it means that when people are seeing it, or they're seeing how the games are being won and it's set pieces, and they're looking and thinking, yeah, this is just mad. Like, and it's so far removed from the Arsenal that people associate Arsenal to be.
Yeah. No.
I think that's the way to put. Yeah.
No. I agree with you, and I think you just touched on that last point there, in regards to what people associate your club with. Obviously, we associate Arsenal, and listen, you could say through the banter era when they had man like I don't know, he was not good at Arsenal like that, but he was good later on when they had Giroud up front. The thing is, you've always had like a decent kind of. I've always felt like you've had like a decent enough team to be able to do stuff. You just haven't.
To win though, to win though.
Okay, okay, not against
They had a
Man
team where you
United.
looked at and you're like, they're gonna play ball. Like you never look at
Yeah,
Arsenal and think these guys can't ball. Like they're balling out.
yeah.
Did you ever look at them and think, oh, you guys can win it though? Yeah, Ramsey and
No,
that in midfield. Yeah, they're gonna win it. Like Coquelin and yeah, they're gonna win the league. No, you never. Do you know what I mean? When you deep it, you're like, actually, nah, like Vermaelen and
Vermaelen, they did have him. Yeah, yeah. I was trying to remember one of their other centre backs that they had
Socrates, Mertesacker, Koscielny,
Mertesacker. What's the other? He's kind of
Skilacci,
like a what's the you that got not got robbed, but they tried to rob him.
Socrates.
No man, Kolasinac,
Kolasinac. You see that they had
Kolasinac.
bare
Sorry, yeah.
man. Do you remember they had Andre Santos, that left back? Do you
Fucking
get it?
hell.
Like when you start to break it down, like they had players like, yeah, you can ball, but are you really those guys? Sonogo, Shamak, Theo Walcott,
Sanogo. He was supposed to be the
like
next one up. Like I forgot about that. Fucking hell. They've had some shitty players. And I think big up Lehia. Big up to yourself, man. If you're being honest, the Arsenal banter is way over the top. It's unlike anything. And this is one of the points I actually wanted to touch upon. I just think, and obviously we'll take a look. I got something I kept seeing on Twitter over the last couple of days, right? So obviously, what's his name? Max Dowman scores the other day. Changed the game in a sense of he was effective when he came on. Yeah, he was just effective when he came on. I didn't think he was all that good when he came on anyway. I felt like you could tell he's young. He's 16, so he was struggling with the physicality against Milenko. So I was like, yeah, you can't really get past him, but you're picking up pockets of spaces to find these passes and blah blah blah. Anyways, gets the cross in, goal, scores the second goal. Brilliant moment for him, his family, all of that kind of good stuff. And I think you got to big up those kind of moments when you've got players like that, obviously, in your team. Now, fast forward, let's say a few days now since that result, I'm seeing, should he go to the World Cup? He's the next thing since sliced bread. He's better than, no, what did John Terry say? He reminds me of Lionel Messi. I'm seeing all sort of adjectives and words to describe this guy, and I'm just like, I think Max Dowman, by the way, I remember watching an academy game. Don't ever get twisted. You could see he was like, he just reminded me of like if I watched Paul Pogba. When I used to watch Pogba in Man United's academy, them man were just on like they're just so far above everybody else. So you could just tell, yeah, this is the guy he's gonna do. Max Dowman was the same thing. Same kind of player when he's playing in the under 14s, under 15s. Bear in mind he's only 16. But when he's playing in these age groups at like 13, I was like, yeah, bro, you can tell he's way better than everybody else. That's kind of obvious. But obviously we don't know how that translates to the men's game. Jerry will be able to tell you a lot better. So that translation doesn't always work, like where you're just because you're the best in the academy, do you then turn out to be obviously the best player or one of the better players going into the thing? So when I'm watching him play, I'm like, bro, he's always been like, he's been really good. Like he's technically sound. He's playing at Arsenal, so that football is going to be more aligned to what he's about anyway. Yada yada yada, right? But some of the things that I'm seeing now, and this is why, when you mentioned here about some of the banters going over the top, this is why people get onto you. As Jerry mentioned before, you're no one really until you win it anyway. No one's rating you, no one's respecting you. You being top now is the most irrelevant thing because you haven't won it. Ultimately, City could actually still win the Premier League. You still got to face Manchester City. So that closes the gap potentially down in terms of points. And then what happens after that? You haven't won anything. So no one's going to give you the respect you feel you deserve because there's nothing really to actually respect. And I feel like Arsenal fans, they struggle with that kind of concept of understanding that just because you're doing well, it doesn't mean that you are a good team. It doesn't mean that you are a team that needs to be respected. You need to win it. You've been in title races now for the last, this is your third season? No. Yeah, third or fourth. Third season that you've been in a title race. Come on, bro. Like you're gonna get bantered. You've never won a European trophy. Well, sorry, the Cup Winners' Cup, because I know Arsenal fans will tell me at some point in the comment section. But you've never won a major European trophy, right? Tottenham won a Europa League before you won anything like of that kind of note, which is embarrassing, by the way, in itself. But cool, it's happened. It is what it is. Look at where Tottenham are right now. But these are the kind of things that people are going to banter you about. So when people are getting on to you about this, that, and the third, big up to, I say big up, but I remember, and it's not about talking other people's names, but I remember when a gal put something up on, this is last season, I want to say. If it wasn't last season, it was the season before, but I want to say last season, he put up like a combined 11 of Real Madrid and Arsenal. And obviously everyone took offense to it. And listen, that's his own opinion. He's allowed to have his own opinion on what he believes to be a combined 11. But obviously everyone shot back at him and was like, how could you, blah, blah, blah. Obviously he had the last laugh because Arsenal ended up obviously getting through to the later stages by beating Real Madrid. But the reality is it's Real Madrid. And I think that's where the annoyance comes from some people. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because they're like, bro, like you're comparing yourself to the kings of Europe. You're trying to say that you have a better team, which, by the way, they did have a better team than Madrid last season in terms of when they faced each other, they were the better team overall in that competition. But I think people then look at it as, are you then saying that you're bigger? I'm not saying, by the way, that a gal said this. I'm saying that people then look at it and they take it from that kind of perspective of what? So you're saying that you're bigger than Real Madrid, where it's like, well, I don't think you're saying that, but ultimately it comes across that way. And that's where I think, let me get Jerry back in. Sorry. Give me 2 sets, Jay. Get Jerry back in there. Yeah, that's where I feel that a lot of people start to get a little bit, would I say, annoyed, so to speak. So let's see this. So this is, I don't know who this, I can't remember what this guy's name, but obviously he's just replying to what Jamie Carragher was obviously saying. So here's his reasonings anyway. A, we are rivals with all of the big six for different reasons. Spurs, Chelsea, obviously local. City, pool, title. United, Fergie versus Wenger. B, this generation grew up with us as whipping boys. Now we're on top. It's annoying. United get similar but have less direct rivals. Do you agree with that, Jerry?
Say it again.
Now, what this James brother saying? He's saying the
Yeah,
reasons
that's
why.
what. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously he's got it here. So he's got, we're rivals of the big six for different reasons. Obviously Spurs, City, Paul for because of the
Mate,
title, United, Fergie. Sorry, man.
less direct rivals. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think United get way more. If I'm being honest, I think
You think
United
so?
are 100%. United are an establishment, but remember, everyone hated them. The lower teams
Oh,
will call it
oh, okay.
Fergie
Sorry, yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The lower teams will call it Fergie time. Um, you have Man United Leeds, you have Man United Forest. They hate each other. You have Man United Liverpool. You had Man United Chelsea. You had Man United Arsenal. Man United City. Even at a certain point, Rooney
Mm,
doing overhead kicks and that, and the whole. Do you know what I mean, Aguero moment? Like they've got more direct rivals than anyone. Arsenal haven't competed against anyone for 20, 30 years.
yeah,
So when you're talking about like, yeah, it's because of this. What do you mean direct rivals? Yeah, you've got Spurs, cool. Liverpool aren't your direct rival. Have never been really. Never.
mm,
Never. Because when you were good, we were crap.
yeah. It's true.
And
Yeah,
historically, we haven't got that rivalry. Yes, you won the league at Anfield and that, cool. But that was that decade, that was in the 80s and that.
yeah.
90s, 2000s, that it was just Arsenal, Arsenal, cool.
But
I don't
even
know.
then, they didn't have a dominant period though. They never had a
But that's
like
my
they never
point.
dominated.
That's my point. So I don't think so. I just think, I think Arsenal fans, just like any other fan base, to be fair, they just have this feeling of like we're the best and we're the best club and we're the biggest club, and so you just feel that way. Liverpool, I
Mm,
remember Liverpool fans saying all this stuff. No one wants us to win the league. We only spend this amount of money.
mm,
Everyone's against us. Everyone's against Klopp. Everyone against the City. Do you know what I mean? It's us against everyone else. It's that tribal mentality, in my
mm.
opinion, man.
No, it's true. No, it's true. Listen, it the reality is some of this isn't just, as Jerry said, it isn't just exclusive to Arsenal, because I do think a lot of clubs, as Jerry mentioned, they are like that in terms of how they rate their club and how they speak about their club. But there is something, and again, everyone's going to come up with their own different reasons. I feel anyway, there is something towards Arsenal. As I said before at the beginning of the stream, for me, it is just more about your fans and the way that you've always kind of, more so in the last 4 years, because that's when you've actually been challenging. But in the last 4 years, you've won nothing. Not an FA Cup, not a Carabao Cup. I think you've won a Community Shield maybe in that time. No European nothing. That you've won nothing, but you've spoken as if you're a team like Manchester City. That's the air of arrogance I feel that a team like, or fans of Arsenal, that's the kind of air of arrogance I feel that they come with. That, yeah, no, we've been winning, we've been good. Like City can drop off for these next 2 seasons, they've still been the best team of the last decade. Like these two, it like this will just be seen as, oh, it's a blip. Obviously, continues. That's when you can really start taking note. But City can have 2 seasons off of not winning the Premier League, and they've still been by far the best team in the last decade. Yes, you've had Liverpool win it, of course, twice in that time. But in other than that, it's only really been them. So that's the level that I'm saying that Arsenal fans are speaking like as if you've been winning 4, 5, 6 Premier Leagues in a very short time, even when you were battling with Manchester United. And this is why I always find it funny. And maybe this is why Arsenal and Liverpool fans, not to say that there's an actual rivalry, but Arsenal and Liverpool fans online sound so similar, because Liverpool fans will tell you we were in title races, obviously, with Manchester City, which we was factually. It was in like 2 or 3 of the seasons. We was in title races with Manchester City, finished points by like a point behind a couple of times, etc., etc. Right? But Manchester City still won the Premier League. Arsenal can say during the Fergie versus Wenger era, yeah, like we didn't win it all the time. Manchester United, I think they won it 3 times in a row at one point, kind of thing. Arsenal will come in second here and there, but they also have won it as well in that time. And I think that's why Liverpool and Arsenal fans are so similar. Because I'm going to be honest, I look at Liverpool not so much purely because of the history of the club, but I do look at both of them like, yeah, you've always kind of been like little man kind of thing when you think about it in the bigger picture. Arsenal, you were the little bros to Manchester United. Liverpool, you were the little bros to Manchester City. You've never really been that serious. You've had your moments, Arsenal invincibles. You know what I'm saying? Liverpool going, I think they only lost 1 game, I think that's, or maybe 2, I think by the end of it, of that season, got 100, whatever points that they got, 99 points, and all of these kind of good things, right? But you've always really, if you looked at how the league tables have ended, you have always been kind of just a small dot that's just been spotted on there, kind of thing. You've never been dominant. And I'm sorry, before I let Jerry go, I'm 34. In 34 years, I've been alive as long as the Premier League has been alive. In all that time, that's a long time to measure it. I know people are going to say to me, yeah, but gee, Liverpool during the 80s. I can't lie, that's cool. But that's so long ago now that to me, it's almost just irrelevant at this point. 70s, 80s, sorry. Arsenal, I don't really know when your dominant period was, to be fair, so I couldn't really say. But let's just say you've had one back in the whatevers, right? It's so long ago. I'm now judging you over the last 3 decades. We're entering into the 4th. I'll be real. You ain't that as big as you think you are. You're a cultural football club, which I will definitely give you. Big culture football club. Merchandise, the fact that you're in London, which is obviously the heart of England. You're one of the better teams in London at this current moment in time. You've had some of the best players, Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, I don't know, Emmanuel Petit, all these kind of guys you've played for your club over Ian Wright over the past however many years. So you're going to have that in your locker. Of course you will. And you're going to have that association as well with your football club. But when we're actually looking at it as a retrospective kind of thing, I'm like, how big are you really? I don't know how, Jay, you see it in terms of how big are Arsenal? Like, do you have to always delve into archives when you talk about how big a football club is?
Yeah, it's like I said, I just think Arsenal culturally are a big club because of the social media thing. They're big on social media as well because of AFTV, because of the type of club they are, and they're just gonna get more corn than everyone else, in it. In terms of like manner online, they seem like they've got a younger demographic of fan as well because of their cultural significance. Like I don't know any, like obviously we're not from Liverpool. When I was growing up, I didn't know, when I was a Liverpool fan, I didn't know who, like any other Liverpool fans like that. I knew 1 or 2,
Okay.
but it wasn't like obviously where we're from, everyone's an Arsenal fan. United had significance, Chelsea had significance, obviously, but they're in London. But United's a good comparison. Pure United fans in London, pure.
Yeah, enough.
Liverpool fans,
It was just the
you
older
were there.
brothers, like old guys like that
It's
used
the
to love.
older heads, exactly. It's the older heads. So now when I'm looking at it, there was a time when I was still, like, even before I was coaching, I'd see kids and bare kids got Liverpool kits on, bare kids. You're not seeing that now. So with
Yeah.
Arsenal, because of their significance, because of your Henrys, your this, your that, and then being in London, and we're in London, we see more of a prevalence of it.
Hmm.
But I just don't think. I don't even know why they care though. I don't even know why it's a discussion. Why do you care? Just win the damn thing and you run it in it. Then
That's
you'll get your respect.
no, it's true. And I think that also baffles me as well because I see the last bit I wanted to touch on here was everyone's talking about the player of the season. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is probably the first season in a while. I've not watched that much of the Premier League this season, so I couldn't really pick one if I had to, and I would only just be going by the stats. So maybe like Haaland or Bruno Fernandes or something like that. Like that's those are the kind of people I'm thinking of. Not because I think they done well, just they seem to be top of the charts for goals, assists, and stuff like that, right? So people are talking about how the Premier League Player of the Year award should really only be given to the Premier League winners, right? So if you win the Premier League, you should have that player. But then someone, I think it was Lias, he put up that in the 33 years that the Premier League has started, I think he said it's half. 16 of the winners of the Premier League Player of the Year have not actually won the Premier League. So then that's then started this whole debate of, yeah, well, why can't Bruno Fernandes win it and blah blah blah. But Jerry's right. Like in my mind, I'm like, why do you care? Like who wins the Premier League Player of the Year award? Whether it is Declan Rice, whether it is Gabriel, whether it's, I think maybe they're the only two candidates that they probably have, but whoever in your team that you think who should be winning it, why do you care? Why is that something that's stressing you so much? Like that, even like if anything, give it to Manchester United. Let them have something. Remember, Man United have been shit for years. Like let them have something. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, as in, it's just one of those kind of things. It's a stupid award that's given, and we know there's always some type of like De Bruyne. I think has only won it like once or twice. Like you're talking about one of the best midfielders you've ever seen in Premier League history. He's only won it twice. You mean there's been better midfielders than this guy in enough of those seasons? I don't think so. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just one of those kind of awards. So when Arsenal fans are getting, would I say, somewhat mad, and they're talking about, yeah, everybody hates us. Like I said, I just feel that there's an air of arrogance. And as Jerry mentioned before, win the damn thing. Win it. No one can chat to you. No one could chat to Liverpool when they won the Premier League. How about that? 30 years, you couldn't chat to Liverpool. Couldn't. All of that just got erased after winning the Premier League because now we reset at 0. So we go again. Luckily for Liverpool, they've then won it again within the last 5 years since the first time. So that they can be like, oh, you know what? In the last 10 years, we've, you know what I mean? Like when it gets to 2030, if Liverpool don't win another Premier League, they've won 2 in 10 years. So they can always go with that. Arsenal, you've had 22 years. You ain't won shit. And you've been shit for time. Jerry just named Vermaelen. I was just looking out at some of the team sheets that they've had. I'm seeing Squillaci.
I said Squillaci, Shamak, not Saka, Socrates, Mavropanos at one point.
You've had some real shit players, so obviously people were going to banter you. And you had that what's that thing? My friend was telling me about it. Why everybody calls Arsenal Stoke, and it's ironic, is because Arsenal used to struggle against teams like Stoke, the Watford. How many times have I heard Troy Deeney chat about how Arsenal was soft?
No cojones and all of that.
No cojones.
A cold night at Stoke. That was Arsenal, cold, because they knew you come to everything, you're getting popped. But you see when things go, it's like what's happening with Liverpool now. It's literally that. You're looking at bare ballers, bare man that can flick it around the corner and that. Bare man. You know, on a good day, it's long. On a good day, it's long for. But you see when you come up against Aruka Dare or whatever, that brother from Wolves and that, and you just...
It's peak. Now you just start looking shit.
Yeah.
Teams have culture amongst the fans. Liverpool have the underdog culture, or at least used to. I think they still do. Arsenal fans, I guess, come off as entitled. Yeah, no, you're right. No, you know what? You're right. You're right. That in itself is actually true. Still, I think the Liverpool one is always weird because I never understood how could you be so how could you claim to be so historically big, but you come off as an underdog? I never ever understood why that was always the thing. Because when I grew up, sorry, go on, no, go.
No, but go on, continue. I'm literally going to add to that point.
No, because I was going to say when I grew up, like all I kept hearing from the older heads was, bro, Liverpool, bro, what John Barnes and all these other players, like they used to always name the Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush, and bro, I like the way when I was younger, the way people used to talk about Liverpool. I thought probably it was almost like a privilege. It's like, right, well, I support this team. Right, that's kind of crazy. Like this team used to be the shit, clearly, kind of thing. Obviously, in my whole life up until 2020, I didn't see one league title. So then I used to start wondering, like, but you guys told me that, like,
you told me twanged. You got twanged. You were sold the dream. You were there. You're like, hold on. You were told, yeah, we're going Mexico. We're going to this resort. You get to Mexico, but you're in a village now, bro. And you're like, what?
Yeah, yes. Yes,
You tapped in Mexico and saw Cancun, but you went Tijuana instead. You just went to some mad.
bro, I got twanged. And for you and Jerry, when I tell you, let's say obviously people talk about like the dark ages, right? So like let's say 20,
They were the
2011.
best ages for me. That's the thing. They were the best ages.
No. When I would say from 2000, when did the Benitez come in? He came in like 04. So
Mm.
maybe like 2000 to say like 2009,
10, 8,
10.
8, 9, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll say, I'll give it that whole 10-year period from 2000 to 2010. For me, I actually liked watching Liverpool because I actually said, you know what? It isn't obviously you're frustrated that your team's not winning, but you actually have something that you can believe in. Like there is something there that allows me to believe that something could potentially happen. And by the way, we have players that I actually liked. I don't like none of these players anymore. Like I actually don't like them. Maybe because I know too much about them, but I don't like them. So when we're supporting Liverpool, it's different. Obviously, Jerry's a bit younger than me, so obviously his kind of journey, I guess, starts a bit later. But sorry, go on, Jerry. I interrupt you.
Yeah, literally, the it's mad because you think about it and you're like, yeah, like I, you look at like a to a point in it. You look at like a Liverpool, you look at these teams, and yeah, I feel like they want to be what their culture and society represents. So the problem is, you see
Hmm.
Arsenal, and this is what I was saying before, and I've said it to you off camera. You know, when I say like I'm probably more aligned with how Arsenal fans think and Chelsea
Yeah,
fans think more than these men, because naturally and culturally and where I grew up, that's my mentality. I
hmm.
don't like the way Arsenal fans used to speak about like Wenger. You know, remember when other men would be like, "How could they do this to Wenger? He's giving them everything that they want, and they've done this and they haven't got money." And these men are getting mad. They're protesting. They do that. No, it's not good enough. Even now, to this point, man are still getting onto Arteta. It's not
Yeah.
like 100% of the fan base is behind this man. They're still getting onto these man. They're not rating players because there's a certain, and I think that's a down South London feeling where because of how it is, because of it's more capitalist than the other places in the country. It's
Hmm.
we're not mucking about, bro. Like you're either the best or you're not.
Yeah.
Chelsea got that same mentality. We're the best or we're
Yeah.
not. Spurs, again, they're doing rubbish and all of that, but you can see their fans and they're getting pissed because they're getting annoyed. They're getting annoyed. Oh, we're always fourth. We're this. We're that. Um, whereas up north and United's a bit different because they obviously historically they've just won and stuff, right?
Hmm.
But when you go and look at Liverpool, they didn't win for so long. It was like it was okay. It was like no, we are the underdog.
Hmm.
We are like. I mean, no one wants to give us anything. We're it's tough up here. No one. Do you know what I mean? Do
The
you
thing is,
get
I
it?
know where you're even going. That's the baddest thing. I should know where you're going.
You
I
know
should
what I'm
know.
saying, innit? So like when you get there, and you get to that point, and you're like you're there, it translates into everything in life.
Hmm.
It translates into everything in life. It's like, oh, but no one wants to do this because of that, and oh, it's so tough. And even when we were doing well, it was like, oh, but Jurgen Klopp, he's got one hand tied behind his back, and
Hmm.
oh, we've got Milner in midfield, and you know we can't we could only get Van Dijk, but we had to sell, and it's like you know there's always that like
The way you said that as well, like we had to give that, but we had to sell.
but do you know what I mean? Like when you hear it was like there was always something. It was like ah, but we just don't have anything, and it's that mentality that
I know
it
exactly your
permeates
mentality.
within the clubs. Whereas Arsenal don't have that mentality. Arsenal are like, no, we need to spend more, more.
Hmm.
Like they'll sign a Bamiyang. No, we need more, bro.
Yeah,
Do
for
you
real.
get
They're
it?
always demanding more. Always.
And what's happened is obviously as time as like teams get better and worse, right? Arsenal fans will still have that mentality because of what they did. Liverpool fans will still have that mentality. A lot of them will have that underdog mentality in it. So I think hold on, deep down, load of fans are like you, Jojo, want to keep a facade.
I
What do
semi
you mean
agree with
by
that.
that? Me? What
So
do you mean like me?
where he called you the City fan before. So loads of fans don't really want to stay with the team that they've had since they were from birth or whatever the case may be. Because but you have to keep up this facade of like because now everybody knows you as, oh yeah, this brother supports Liverpool. So now you're 30 or you're gonna be 30, whatever. Now man are like, well, bruv, that's now you, bro. Like you can't change. Like you're not allowed to
That's
change.
crazy. That is a
Yeah,
choice
no, no,
that was like,
that's what he's
I,
saying.
I,
Yeah,
I, no, no, I get that. No, no, I hear that. I hear that. No, I get it. But no, it's one of those ones where you go and do that, but it's like, it don't like again. It's like you look at it, and this is where the problem is. You have a lot of, and I think Cargo made this point. I think I kind of agree now that the match going fans are different than the ones that go down online, and I actually agree with it. I've actually come to agree with it, and I realize I'm not a match going fan, so I'm a different type of fan
Mm.
than the rest of these men. And you look at it, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to stand for this stuff. You don't align with my morals. What do you mean back the manager and all of that and back this and support through thick and thin? Why am I supporting you through thick and thin, bro?
Yeah, for real.
No, like, why am I, why? What, because you just play football?
Mm.
Like, you don't give anything to me. I don't get anything from it apart from a bit of joy. Like, like what is it? Why am I backing you through thick and thin? Are you my missus? No. Man are backing clubs through thick and thin while cheating on their missus and that. You know how dark that is.
That's dark. Yeah, when you
Abusing their
think about it,
kid, abusing their kids and that. Dark. Like, brother, you know, like getting in
that's
domestic
mad.
violence spats and that. Dark. But you're telling me you're backing your club through thick and thin. You're insane. You're insane.
That's actually mad.
When you break it down, like, you know, like dashing a mum into a care home and that, not even caring about like what. Do you know what I mean? You're too much sticking through thick and thin. So
Yeah,
like
you won't.
when I hear that stuff, I just think baloney, bro.
Mm.
Go suck salt. You're lying. So
Sucks salt with a
so
straw.
suck salt, bro. A straw. So when you look at it, it's like yeah, what's happened is Liverpool fans, right? In my opinion, from what I've seen, they went and experienced this high. The match going fans are different than the fans, but there's been a change in terms of the expectation because you've won and you've been there. As
Mm.
that starts to change, and we spoke about this, the expectations start to be a bit different. So what
Yeah.
you're seeing is that there's like a transition between where Liverpool are still you got some of them that still feel like they're the underdog and they're not victims, but you know what I mean. They're the ones that have been hard done by, whether it's
Mm.
the league and this, oh, we should have had an extra league because Pep Guardiola cheated, all that type of stuff. And you've got the others that are like, nah, there's an expectation. So like you got your Hassams, your Cows, your Enzes, your that are like, no, we need to be doing this, we need to get the best player. Why are we settling for mediocrity? But that's coming from they're not really understanding, and which is what I believe now. It's why I kind of distance myself. They're not
Mm.
understanding the culture of that area and the city. The same
Mm.
way these men won't understand why Arsenal fans are cooking Arteta right now.
Mm.
They won't understand it because they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it is what it is." They didn't understand when you were getting onto slot last season when you were like in
Mm.
October thinking, "Nah, man, I'm not really liking this. Like this half time second. What do you mean, G? How could?" You? That's why
Mm.
it's because culturally you're not aligned like that. So I think
Mm.
where there's a change, you've had that change where I think Arsenal and Liverpool are similar, but it's just on the reverse where Liverpool are the underdog, they won and that started to change, but there's still a divide where some people still feel like Liverpool are the underdogs. Others want that success now. And with Arsenal, it's the other way, where there's some fans that still hold on to that, again, entitlement about we are Arsenal, we done this, we had Thierry Henry,
Mm.
Vieira, and Invincibles. Because again, it's for our generation, it's a recent memory. Remember
Yeah.
for us when we were growing up, that's what Arsenal did.
Yeah.
So anyone that's even 10 years older than me, that's what they went live through. That's their lived experience. That's the experience of Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
us, anyone that's even 10 years older than us didn't even experience Liverpool like that. You're talking about man that are 50, 60 plus
Mm.
to even get a scratch at what Liverpool were back then. So when you're looking at it, it's like the Arsenal fans are like, yeah, they're hanging on to that invincible thing, but also you've got a massive group of Arsenal fans that see Arsenal as that underdog. They see
Mm.
Arsenal as no one rates us, no one does this. They got bantered in school. You know, when we were growing up, Arsenal were getting bantered like that early on. It started to get like that, but it was still we play the best football. We've got ballers. This. I only started to get worse as time went on. So I feel like that's where the similarities are, but I think we're on just different ends of the spectrum.
No, spectrum. That's a yeah. Um so now Arsenal fans don't care on the flip side. big up deep thing, man. And but listen, big up. Like I said, I wanted to have this quick chat just because I wanted to just get people's opinions on how they, more so from Arsenal fans, but just how people kind of look at it. And again, big up deep thing. Obviously, you're saying obviously it's because you were being mocked and blah blah blah. But again, even through being mocked, everyone also understood that Arsenal played the best football, or what we thought was the best football, should I say, at that period of time. What with Rosicky, Kleb, Santi Cazorla, Özil, Jack Wilshere.
Wilshere.
Like, come on, bro. Like, you were definitely playing. You were definitely playing better football than Liverpool. I know that much anyway at that period of time. So, and you're playing better football than Chelsea. Chelsea were just a mentality team with Jose Mourinho. They knew how to win, what it took to win. Yeah, most aesthetically pleasing football. Now you're not playing that kind of great football, but you are looking like you're going to win something this season. I don't know what, but you're going to win something, probably the title this season. So, but your football's not really popping like that. So when people are talking about your team, about it being, when people talk about your team and it not being fun to watch and stuff like that, it's not fun to watch. Like you haven't been, and it's not just you. I think the Premier League in the last 2 seasons have been rubbish. And me and Jerry said this when Liverpool won the league. So it's got nothing to do with Arsenal winning the league. And no. We said this last season that it was shit. Savage said the same thing. Like it was shit last season. I think it's shit this season. How I know it's even that shit and why people are confusing themselves is we are having a battle. Well, sorry, people are having a battle right now about who should win player of the season. Your options are Gabriel Rice and Bruno Fernandes. We're struggling to find other people to even put in that list. Like we're struggling so hard to find people. So this is just where we're at this moment in time. Listen, Arsenal fans, you don't need to care. You actually really don't need to care. The reality is, if you go on to win, you've done what you needed to do. However that gets done, you've waited 22 years. I promise you, you won't care. You will start caring second year, third year. That's when you'll start to like care about, yo, this ain't fun to watch, and like I'm bored and red tear. But right now, it doesn't really matter. You just need to get the first one kind of just over the line. But people are cussing you because you've spoken in the last 2 to 3 years as if you were a team who has already won. That is the key. You can't keep speaking like you're a team that's been winning. You ain't been winning since I've been alive. Like never. You've never been that team. Like you've never ever been a team that's ever dominated a period. You've never been a team that's been good for like a sustained amount of time. You've never been that. You've had like 2 years here. Man United dominated for 4 or 5 years. Then you've or 3 4 years. Then you've had your year here, year that. Like that's all it's been, and that's fine. But I feel like you don't like to own up to that, and I think that's what kills you guys in these conversations and these arguments is that you don't seem to. It's like you're, as Jerry said, he got called this the other day, but it's like you're tone deaf. Like you don't really understand. Like you don't really get it. You don't really understand. Like that's why people would get onto you, not because we think you're shit. You're one of the best teams in Europe, easily, like without a shadow of a doubt. So it's got nothing to do with your club. It's to do with how your fans have spoken, especially in these last few years. People are obviously going to take that, the wrong way, and it is what it is. Before we leave, I'll ask you this, Jerry. You might not have an answer. Um, but are you on your first? But this is what I'm saying, Hunch. I've said this before, and I'm not going to speak for Jerry because I don't want him to get dragged into any arguments or conversation with people. I've openly questioned what do you call a big club? Like to any of you in the chat, to Jerry, what do you call a big club? Do you define it by errors, i.e., can you say Liverpool have been a big club for the last 30 years? In fact, since you've been alive, can you say, yeah, I think Liverpool have been a big club? I'll ask you that, Jerry. Can you say that just in your time frame that you've seen Liverpool, can you call them a big club?
Depends what you mean by big, innit? There's
But
levels
that's
to it.
this
That's
is
said
what
there's
I'm asking.
levels to it. There's levels to it. Yeah, they have been in it. They have been. They've been competing for the top honors. They've been there commercially. They're big. Their fan base has increased. They've had the best players in the world. Their players are challenging for top titles individually and as a collective, whether it's Ballon d'Or this or Player of the Year or yeah, they have been. Are they the biggest? Or do they operate like they are that club? Probably not. if you just look at how other clubs have behaved, if you look at how Real Madrid would behave in terms of their wanting to obtain success, and your Barca's or your United's, and obviously they not like Liverpool have been more successful than United, but in the way in which United are just ruthless, like
Mm.
manager after manager after manager after manager after manager. And I'm not saying it's the best way, but it's the mentality of like we can't just keep this up. And the best example is looking at that. So Sam's obviously didn't talk about it at all. He questioned it like with regards to Liverpool.
Oh,
He was speaking about Liverpool. He said, "Why have the club not acted sooner? Why have they not done anything?
mm.
Forget what the fans think. Forget why haven't the club, your Richard Hughes, your Michael Edwards, been like just pulled the plug and be like, no, 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 like this isn't good enough. What's going on with my man?" They haven't done that because they're just not. They're not viewing it as it's catastrophic to what's going on. Whereas other clubs would view it as, no, this is catastrophic.
Mm. Big club as well.
Look at what they did with Alonso. It was quick.
Yeah.
It was quick. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it was quick, and he wasn't like fifth. He was second or top or something like that.
He was literally he was literally like 2 or 3
2
points off
points
top.
off.
Like, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's levels to like what you think is like a big club. But yeah, look, to say they're not a big club is disingenuous. Like culturally, they're a big club. What they've done in recent years, they're a big club. There's multiple big clubs though. There's Bayern, a big club. Inter, a big club. Do you know what I mean? Like there's loads of big clubs. It's just where you kind of position them and what you're like, on what level they are in it. There's big clubs, and then there's the ones that will just are move in a different way. And I think yeah, that's just how I see it.
By the way, guys, I'm asking the question. I'm not saying one like I've questioned the Liverpool thing enough times, over a period of time. And that's not to say that I think even at Liverpool not a big club, because I do. The only thing I disagree with Jerry on is that, and I know someone just mentioned it in the chat about obviously it's not since you've been alive. I do get that. I understand that, but there comes points where it's like, well, how far do we keep going back in time to kind of delve into whatever you want to deem it, kind of thing? And again, that's not me saying that Liverpool are not a big club. That's not me even saying that Arsenal are not a big club. It's just more to ask the question as to how do people view it? Because technically speaking, I know someone mentioned here about trophies. Technically, then Nottingham Forest should be one of the biggest clubs in England, but they're not, or they're not seen as one of the biggest clubs in England. They've been out of the Premier League for numerous amount of years, and they still got more European trophies than both Arsenal and Spurs and Everton, or Champions League trophies, should I say, sorry, than these clubs. Clubs who have been in the Premier League, clubs who have been in this Premier League since it started and not left. Everton, I think, is it Everton or Arsenal? They hold the record of never being of like the longest. I think it's Arsenal. I think who hold the record of never not being relegated. I think it's Arsenal or Everton, one of the two. So we're not talking about clubs who are just dibby dabby. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we're talking about like clubs who have been around since been around. So when I'm talking about like big clubs, I think as Jerry said, there are levels to it. So when I think of like Liverpool, I don't really put them on like the highest level. Same with Arsenal. I don't put them on the highest level of like when I think of like clubs like a Bayern Munich or a Real Madrid, a Barcelona. Like when I think of those kind of clubs, I just think these clubs are like when you walk into these kind of clubs, right, and you see the amount of trophies that they've won, you've seen just what they've done, you've seen that they've always been. And I think people underestimate how hard it is for even a Bayern, right? I don't think people understand. You know how hard it is to continuously stay top. Like that's not just easy for you to have to constantly be there and be known as that team. Real Madrid, the same thing. Barcelona are not even as big as Real Madrid, but they're on them kind of. And I still think Real Madrid are the biggest. I might cuss them, but they're the biggest club that I know. So when I think of like the Liverpools, the Arsenals, the Chelseas, obviously now Manchester City, obviously coming into the mix, I don't have them man at like the top of the pedestal. I just can't, because I'm like, regardless of anything, you've spent a significant amount of time without doing anything, like a significant amount of time. You've won other things, 100%, but Liverpool went 30 plus years. Arsenal, well, this season obviously will change, but they went 20 plus years. Bro, I feel like at what point do you get to it where it's like, bro, I can't keep calling you big when you're not actually doing. It's like Tottenham. Tottenham are another example. I don't understand how Tottenham can be seen as a big club when they've never won anything prior to obviously last season. I can't I can't fathom that your stadium is nice as one of the reasons why. And by the way, the stadium's amazing, but I can't see that that's the reason why. Because when West Ham built their stadium, they were trying to put themselves in the conversations as well. But we should be seen as one of the bigger clubs. I've never understood that. So again, Arsenal and Liverpool, I think they're very, very similar. You're massive clubs, but there's levels, bro. Eden Hazard, sick player, but you're not Messi level. Like there's a level that you're just never. I just don't think you can realistically hit unless you go through the next 20 years now, where it's just really just you. Like Manchester United, you have to go through that kind of era of just pure and utter dominance. Manchester City, 6, 7 titles in 10 years, and there's only been 3 other winners, 2 of which are Liverpool. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wenger had barely any money for 15 years because we had to pay for the Emirates. Circumstances and context matters. Not everyone in history has played on a level playing field. That's sport, though. Do you think the Golden State Warriors were? Did anyone know that Golden State Warriors were a team before Steph Curry even came in? I
Do they know what?
promise you.
Do they know what they were called before? They were called the Golden State Warriors. Do people even know that?
Sorry. Here we go. So this is what we're coming to. Like you didn't know who the fuck they were. I didn't even know who they were. I'm gonna tell you now, I'm a player fan in basketball. My favorite player is Steph Curry, and he plays for them, so I stick with them. That's how I've now just had to say it. Cool. I'm a casual fan, whatever you kind of want to call it. But I did not know that they were a whole different team before that. I was like, swear. And then I started looking back on some of their old NBA games. I was like, swear. These men were something different. That is hilarious. Bayern, it's not because they're the monopoly of one of the biggest footballing nations in the world. If they're not there or thereabouts, then there's something seriously wrong. That's what I'm saying, though. You have to be there. You have to stay. Remember, they've got a main Drake. That's the best way I can put it. Drake has to maintain a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? He has to maintain like a certain kind of level, a certain kind of appearance with him. He can't be anything else than what he actually is. He can't even be seen as like, yeah, this is shit. Everything has to be of the ultimate quality. So when someone like me, big up Roms, because I know I've seen Roms mention this a few times, where Roms has posted like some of the albums he thought was really good of Drake. And I said, bro, this is shit. Like, I feel like these albums have been whack, like, in my opinion, because I watched him from when he first come through. And I feel like he dropped off a level, like a major kind of level, considering where I thought he was at the Real Madrid levels. And then I thought like, oh, no, you start dropping to like the Arsenal kind of levels where it's like, bro, you might sound good every now and again, but it's not really of the kind of thing. That's the same kind of thing that I look at when I look at, someone like Arsenal. I think Paul is included as well. United, Paul, Pogba, and Ibra playing Europa League. Yeah, exactly. Savage just said it. Headline days. Yeah, headline days. Yeah, yeah, but I'm talking even before headline days, Ram. Like I'm talking, what's the name of the album where he's standing in? He's got like the shape up in his beard. I mean, in his hair.
Nothing was the same.
No, before that.
What?
Bro, you're not gonna piss me off, bro, because now I'm trying to even think.
No, it's nothing was the same when side to the head of the
No,
clouds.
before that, Jerry.
Take care.
Before that.
Oh,
Comeback season. There we go.
comeback season.
2007. 2007. That's what I'm talking about. Like from then till maybe like nothing was the same. I thought sick. Yeah, if I no, exactly that. Until nothing was the same, I thought sick. Then More Life came out in 2017. I was like, yeah, that's good.
Hold on.
Scorpion was
Do you go 2017 or do you go nothing was the same or did you not rate the Future projects? Him and Future, the collab at the time.
oh I rated like 3 songs from that collab. That's
Because I know G was
that's
vibing to the
chatting up
song.
as well, you know.
Literally,
Fucking
as
hell.
I said that, I looked at G's face and you went, "Oh yeah, that was cold, didn't it?"
No, no, like because I'm literally looking at it right
Digital
now. The
dash,
What a Time to Be
digital
Alive.
dash. What a time to be
Yeah,
alive.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. Okay, I'll name. I can see the songs. I'll name them for you right now. Digital Dash, Live from the Gutter, I'm the Plug, 30 for 30 Freestyle. Jumpman was just like a poppy tune. So yeah,
No,
I thought that it was.
Jumpman was popping. Come on, Jumpman.
No, no,
Jumpman
no,
was
no,
popping.
no. Jerry, that's what I said. It was a popping tune. But I didn't like Big Rings. I didn't like Diamonds Dancing. I didn't
Big
like.
rings is what? When it was a pretty big rings. No, no, what, huh?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I didn't like
Man in his
Scholarships.
hand with no strings. You
Plastic
didn't like
Bag, yeah.
scholarships. You didn't like
Nah,
scholarships.
Scholarships is dead. Nah, in fact,
No, no, no,
Scholarships one
no,
of the
no.
worst.
Stop. You're gonna make me go and play scholarships from stream and get you demonetized on that.
Jerry,
Scholarships.
I'll show you right now. Scholarships.
I wake up on a daily basis. I count the money. Yep.
Just listen, yeah. And you're
Free
gonna have to try.
bands.
I'm gonna leave it there. That's 12 seconds. Hopefully, but like, what you thought? Like that tune was. It was all right. It was okay. Like it was okay. Like, but like I said, Digital Dash tune, Live from the Gutter tune, I'm the Plug tune, 30 for 30 freestyle. I love that freestyle. But again,
On the plug is cold. Really,
yeah, I'm the Plug
really on the
cold,
plug.
cold. But this is what I'm saying. It's like after a while, you just end up like you have to maintain this kind of level. And I feel like that's the way I look at football teams sometimes when I'm sometimes I'm looking at some of these football clubs. I'm like, bro, you got to maintain being the big dog. Bayern Munich, you got to maintain being the big dog. Real Madrid, you have to maintain being the big dog. It's just one of them kind of things. So yeah, where's the Iceman thing? Oh, is that the new? Is that the? Is that new? Brother, see, I couldn't even tell you. Like, what is that? Is that new? Hold on. Like, here's some shit albums. Like, fucking
But which
for
one was
all the
shit
dog.
though?
Like for all the dog, I thought that was.
But that's what I thought. That was rubbish. But people rated it though.
Yeah, I feel like again, if you're younger, I felt like that was just something that people just I don't know what it was. I was like, bro, that was shit, bro.
Let me see
That
what else.
was
Yes, Iceman that ain't dropped. Did you rate Views?
yeah. But what year? That's what I said. 2007. What year was that?
16.
2016. Yeah. Views. I still play now. Views. I still play now.
Scorpion.
Maybe I play like a few tracks, but it was okay enough for me to play a few tracks. Yeah. After that, I don't think there's anything like okay. What came after that?
Actually, hold on. For All the Dogs, was that the song with when they had it got removed? Blue and green red. Was it that one?
Was that? Uh, Let me check.
The one that goes like, please tell my mama, tell her.
Yeah, it's above.
30 years already.
Yeah. It's above.
That was a banger. That was a banger. When they show up in
You
London,
can't,
when they crack in
Jerry.
the
I
London,
promise
yeah,
you.
Big Ben. Hey, start.
Yeah, nothing was the same. The thing is, I could hear that. Nothing was the same. Solid album. Views, solid album. Take Care, best album. Um, what else is there? If you're reading this is too late, solid. Yeah, man.
Did you like Certified Lover Boy?
Sorry, I take it back what I said. That was the shittest album. Like the shittest album. As in, I do not want to hear you sing for the entire album, bro. I actually don't want to hear it.
Girls Want Girls was good though. That was a tune with Lil Baby. You know it was. You see that he's smiling because I know G
No,
was. I know
I
G.
know because I'm,
G's
like
got his
that's the
walks.
kind of
G's
tune,
gone on
yeah.
his late night walks, guys. This is what's happened. G's gone on a late night walk, yeah, and been playing those tunes, yeah.
You know what that is, yeah? That's if I'm in Jerry's car, right, and we're going somewhere, and he plays it. I'm not
What
gonna.
ambient lighting and that, you're vibing to it. You're
No,
putting the
okay.
slugs in
I'm
your
not
mouth.
gonna. I'm not gonna tell Jerry. Oh yeah, turn it off. But I'm also not gonna. I'm gonna go on my phone. I'm gonna go on my phone. I'm gonna go on my phone.
To snap
I'm
in
gonna go
it,
on my phone.
to snap me. That's what I did. You're gonna go in this phone to snap me like this is a vibe. This is a vibe.
Nah, bro. I'm gonna go on my phone, and yeah, that's it. Like that. That's that. I'm gonna be like, yeah. Hopefully, Jerry doesn't then decide to play the next track from this album.
Yeah,
Like, I hope he
yeah.
switches to something else. Like,
To be
bro,
fair,
if
it's
it's to
just that
even,
track. It's
yeah,
just
if it's
that
just
track
that
that I'm
track,
looking
then
at.
I'll give you,
Yeah,
I'll
go
allow
on.
it. I'll allow it. But yeah, to my point, and we'll wrap up here anyway. I need to get back to it. Like I said, it's difficult for these clubs, and that's one of the main reasons why I feel that people get into Arsenal fans. But like Jerry said, you don't need to care. Win the thing. No one can chat shit to you, and then we can all kind of move on. You know what I mean, with our day. But guys, big up to all of you, man. I was about to lie. I was just about to lie and say, yeah, no, I'll come up with another live. I don't know if there's another talking point. If you know what, if Liverpool get knocked out of the Champions League, I will come back and we will have a very, very good conversation about that one because that'll be an interesting conversation in itself. Big up Jerry, man. Love for jumping in. I know Trudon, you've asked me about these R&B streams. Should I just do one on? I might try and do one on. I might just try and do one on. I think I saw the name and I just said yeah. I might try and do one on my other channel, so I'll see anyway. But like, big up to everybody. I'll catch you guys soon. I think N said he has got the watch along tomorrow, so make sure you lock into that. And yeah, man, much love, much love. Peace.